Hello, my people. My name is Lonnie Mills, and I decided to make this video concerning the Juanita Bynum and Pastor John Moore issue because I saw both videos, and there were some questions that came out that it was just some things that I was asking myself because I wanted to understand exactly what went wrong. I am a Texas lawyer, and the reason why I say that, why that's relevant, is because lawyers do a lot of analytical reasoning anyway. And so I just kind of want to comment on this because maybe, through this video, I can help somehow bring clarity to how I interpreted what may have happened. And so I'm just going to say, I love Juanita Bynum. I have been following her for years, ever since the No More Sheets era, and then the Unfeigned Faith. She is just explosive. So I can understand why she's valued so much, and why Pastor John Moore really was excited to have her there. And this is not a blame game, but the first thing that I see in this whole issue is that we've come to a place now where we have these teams and we have all of these people working on our behalf. And so, as I understand it, there was no direct communication between Prophetess Juanita Bynum and Pastor John Moore because of all the people in the middle. And so because he could not talk to her directly, or because she didn't have a way to contact him directly, the fact that they didn't speak, because it just seems like had they just talked that out, they both would have understood what happened. Pastor John Moore is young. He's a younger pastor. And so perhaps he, going into the room may have been something that he could learn from, but I don't think it was malicious intent. I do believe that, like his wife said, he just wanted to make sure everything was proper. This is Prophetess Juanita Bynum. So he's going to go and he's going to make sure that things are in place. And if he walked into that room and saw the luggage, but then he saw other things in the back that looked like it could have been somebody else who had checked into the room, I could understand why he would have gone down to front desk and said, hey, can we make sure that Juanita Bynum's room is protected? Because I saw undergarments and things like that in the room. And I just want to make sure that, there's nobody else in her room. Because you know what? I've worked in a hotel, and hotels will put somebody else in your room. And that is a possibility. And, if it were me and I was having a conference, I probably would have done things differently. But if I would have got some type of information or something that would have clued me in that somebody else could have been in my guest's room, then yeah, I will address it with front desk. So the thing about when Juanita Bynum told the story, I kept asking myself, well, why would a hotel manager or any staff at a hotel call her staff and ask them if her things were laid out on the mural or whatever? What sense does that make? No one ever questioned, okay, why is the manager calling to ask about Juanita Bynum's things? So had that question been asked, had everybody just taken a step back and say, okay, wait now, why would this manager do that? That doesn't even make sense. If he was in there to set up secret cameras or to, for some malicious intent, or if he went in there be secretly or something, why would he go to the manager? And why would the manager then disclose that to her team? So that's the question, right? So the answer to that is because he was just trying to make sure everything was good. And from the information that he gathered from going into the room, he didn't know that Juanita Bynum would send a team before her, and that they would cover the furniture, and that they would lay out her undergarments. I didn't even know that. When she explained that that's how she does things, I was like, oh, that's how? Oh, okay. Because I didn't know that one would have a team that would do that. That's grand. That is beautiful life living. But if me as a new minister or somebody in the ministry, I wouldn't know that people do that. So It was just miscommunication. It was a misunderstanding, and that's the thing is that when we have fights and when we have disagreements with each other, we find out that most of the time, the reason why we're fighting is over a misunderstanding. No, people are naturally good people. I mean, it's kind of like, I know that when you are probably in a celebrity lifestyle, people are after you and people are after your name and they want to smear your name and stuff like that. But see, that's kind of extreme, right? It's like, okay, we could give each other the benefit of the doubt. We can do that. It's okay to say, he's a minister. I trust that what he did must have been proper. Let me get a full understanding, because I'm led to believe that maybe some people on her team kind of like, made the story sound a little bit worse than what it was, because we embellish, we embellish. That's natural. So somebody on her team could have been like, somebody was in your room and they, I don't think that's right, and feeding her head because Juanita Bynum was not there. She was on her way. And, it was just too many people. It was too many people and too many opinions. And it created this huge misunderstanding. And that's what happened. Now, it's nobody's fault. It's something that we can learn from, I'm sure, from Pastor John Moore's perspective. And I don't know either one of them personally. I'm just commenting on what I've seen on YouTube. Pastor John Moore's perspective, I'm sure he's probably said, okay, well, what I learned is be very, very careful about going into these rooms. Maybe I don't have to do all of that to make sure everything's okay. Maybe I just need to trust that things are going to be okay and I don't have to go into the room to give the fruit basket, or I got to be very careful with that because of what can happen. And then on the other side, as smart as we are, I think that Juanita Bynum could have also asked some questions like, why would the manager call my team to ask me about my undergarments? It doesn't make sense, other than the fact that the manager was mad because John Moore must have gotten on her and said, make sure that this is right. And so the manager calls with an attitude and say, is her undergarments up there on the mural like they're supposed to be? It's like, that's the only reason why a manager would do that, is because the manager got put in check or got questioned about the integrity of the hotel. So because that question was not asked, I think that there was maybe, quick to jump to conclusions and it was just kind of pushed to the extreme about the cameras and stuff. Like, I don't think people really are after, other people like that. I don't see why a pastor would want to set up secret cameras to film Juanita Bynum in her room privately. Like, why would they do that? Like, that would be a bad person, right? Like, why would a pastor do that unless he had some reason? Unless there was, I really don't know. I really don't know why. I don't see any animosity. I wouldn't want to set Juanita Bynum up. I mean, I don't care. I mean, maybe somebody said, oh, she smoked weed in the room or something. But, even that, like, I don't see why anybody would want to set up a secret camera to film her. I don't see why anybody would have any malicious intent, especially if they have called her to a conference to bless people. So sometimes we do have to look past our celebrity. Sometimes we have to look past, our position and all of that stuff, because it was just too much of me in that. It was too much, we forgot about God prepared the message and people needed to be touched. And see, I always tell myself, it's bigger than you. This is bigger than you. So when you realize that things are bigger than you, then you can say, okay, well, Lord, I'm going to go preach. I'm going to go preach because I know people have to be touched. I know that the people are ready. The people Lord, you're going to use my mouth. You're going to use my voice and you're going to preach today. So this is not about me. And it's not about, anything other than that, because we have to trust God and we have to have faith that God is going to work it out. We have to have faith. So it's like, it goes back to the things we preach, have faith that God has got everything under control and God is always with us. God is very particular. God is sensitive. God is jealous. God has his own, God looks at every single detail. Now I am being called into the ministry and I'm going through my being called by God and having to let things go that no longer serve me. And God is not going to let go of me until I get in the pulpit and preach. And Juanita Bynum is my mentor. She is who I would follow because the way she preaches and the way she has this cutthroat type of ministry and show people that she reminds people that, are you still pleasing the Lord? Is your walk, are you still, you're working for the kingdom, but are you working in the kingdom? See, that kind of stuff, that is the kind of no nonsense preaching that worked for me. And so I know that when I get in the pulpit, my preaching is going to be very much the same. Reminds me of Isaiah, and how he was as a prophet. So that's just my 2 cents. I think it was just a misunderstanding. I don't think it was anybody's fault. Juanita Bynum made the decision she had to make based on what she believed, based on what she heard. And Pastor John Moore did what he did based on what he was doing in efforts to make sure his conference was going to run smoothly and that his guests were going to be well taken care of. So my heart goes out to both of them. I love both of them dearly. I hope one day I can meet. If I see Juanita Bynum, I'm just going to just fall out and faint because I'm just so starstruck by her. And Pastor John Moore, I don't know him yet, but I'm sure he's a good man and he's young. And, I think that God is doing a great work with both of them. And it was just unfortunate. And the devil is busy. The devil is the accuser, and he's out to steal, kill, and destroy. And so the devil may have won that little battle, but like Juanita Bynum said, there'll be another time. And God is going to reorchestrate this thing. And the same people that were invited that were supposed to be there this time will come back because God can do it, because God can do anything. All right? We can't underestimate God, the power of God, because God is already seeing the future and where we came from and what he's appointed for an appointed time. So thank y'all. I hope this helps. My 2 cents. Lonnie Mills. I love you.